my fears, anything that might bite or sting, I suddenly realized I had entered the oldest and most sacred brotherhood on earth, the food chain. I now had to be aware like the rest of life in the forest. I was the insect that watched for the snap of the bird's beak. I was the bird that watched for the slow slither of snake. I was the stinging tree covered with spines to ward off those who would dine on juicy leaves. Life in the forest could not afford the luxury of unconsciousness. If I wanted to survive, I too had to be fully conscious. For the first time in my life, I had to be responsible for all my actions. I could no longer bungle along, unconscious and irresponsible. My culture had easily allowed me to be both unaware and irresponsible. Although I'd always loved the natural world and spent much time in nature, I'd lived a flaccid life, asleep at the wheel. When I saw what it took for me to stay aware and survive, I began to respect the remarkable survival skills of other species. These beings that I entered into relationship with were ancient teachers of the most fundamental wisdom. I became their humble student and fell passionately in love with them. If my heart and mind remained open, I would learn everything I'd forgotten. I would remember my ancient roots and know where I came from. Over the months, I grew to thrive on being constantly aware. I learned to understand the body language of my fellow beings and eventually heard their thoughts. This was not a heroic act, nor was it a game. No one knew where I hiked, and there were beings that could potentially kill me. So I had to be 100% responsible for everything I did. I had to stay grounded and aware. But with time, I shed my fear along with my clothes and my shoes and walked naked in Eden.